So I've selected the pieces of leather I'm going to use for the steering wheel, and first thing is dealing with this. Now I need to cut a piece of leather a reasonable size bigger than this. Plenty. So that's all that I need. So I'll go and wet this now. I'm going to wet it really well. This leather's now pretty wet. I'm sure you can see how wet it is. I'm just going to rub some of the water into it and give it a little bit of a stretch as I do it. That'll just open up the fibres a little bit more, let more water get in. Now if you notice, when I come to stretch it this way, it doesn't stretch quite as much. Leather's a little bit like that. It has more stretch in one direction than the other, so when you come to cut anything out that you need stretching, you need to kind of work out which way it needs to stretch best. So I'm just going to place this on the top. All I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it and staple it. These staples are just going to hold it in place while the leather dries. So I'm going to start in the centre here and work my way around. Now chances are I'll have to take some staples out of just get it to a point where it's on and it's wrinkle free on the front. Trying to get rid of all the wrinkles on the back is, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's quite tricky, but it can be done. I always get asked the same question when I do any stapling, and the question is, what staples do I use? These are type 71s, and what have we got on here? We've got 8mm here. They come in 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to 16mm. I'm going to use some 8mm, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a staple in the centre there. That's just going to hold that in place, and I'm going to now stretch it a little bit. Well, now that I've got that piece in there, I need to stretch everything around here. Now this is where it starts to get a bit tricky, because I've got to stretch things in this way, so this will come here but get stretched like that. It will form a crease here, which I will then manipulate out. So all my staples are going in the back, so I'll manipulate this out a little bit. So all I'm doing is I'm manipulate it one way, staple in, and then manipulate it a little bit the other way, staple in. I'm going to work one side first and then work the other side. Now same with this here, I need to try and get rid of all this leather here, so I'm going to deliberately put a bit of a wrinkle there to be able to pull and just keep pulling and manipulating. Pull that corner in there. So the staples might pop out by themselves. The staples don't actually stick to this properly. There's a metal core inside it which stops the staples. I'm just slowly now trying to work out these wrinkles. So we'll find there. I'm going to manipulate it a bit more. Put a staple in, put two in. I'm going to take that one out and try and get rid of these wrinkles here on this corner. So if you can see, there are wrinkles here, but there's no big wrinkles, and that is obviously on the back of the steering wheel, so you just see that part. So just need to work this one out now. Once I've got it to roughly the shape around here, that's really enough. All the side bits don't need much attention. Maybe this corner here might need some attention, but everything else is just straight. So all I'm doing is I'm pulling the leather and then trying to just drag it with my finger to pull it over a little bit. So I'm manipulating this leather this way a little bit, then I can staple. I'm going to take the first staple out that I did on this end, and then I can work this into there. So that's the first bit done. So I need to trim all this. It's now just in the way, because I've stretched the leather so much I've got quite a big part left over. So now exactly the same with this side. Try and stretch that as much as possible there. And put one staple in. Oops. Now all I've got to do is work this bit out. You saw what I did before. Just manipulated it as much as I can into here. Right. So I'm going to put one staple there. Because leather isn't consistent with its stretch, unlike something like vinyl that's man-made and the stretch is very consistent, leather isn't. You will get patches of leather that are nowhere near as stretchy as others, and patches of leather that are very stretchy. Just need to now manipulate this corner. I'll probably take that staple out. one in the middle. In fact, I put 2 in the middle, and sort out these little bits here which come on that curve. I will get rid of some leather. Don't need all that. Don't need all that. I can still cut away a bit in a minute. I just want to stretch the leather this way a little bit. Oops. So that's one side completely done. Obviously it's not done because it's not been glued on and the leather is still wet through. But once that leather dries, that will hold the shape of that. And so I need to make sure that it's nice before it dries. And stretching into there. Don't need a lot of this leather, so I'm just going to cut it away. It just makes the drying process a little bit quicker if you're not drying out quite as much leather. That's the leather now on there. I need to now put this to one side for a few days. I'm not going to force dry it, I'm just going to leave it somewhere just the room temperature and leave it. The slower it dries out, the better really. If it dries out too quick, potentially it could crack or become quite brittle. It's been about 3 days since I put this on. I'm just going to take it off. It's not completely dry, but it's dry enough. It should have held its shape by now. there you go, you can see now it's held the shape. Yeah, we're still a bit damp on the inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave that now as it is. I will put it back on here just so it doesn't do anything funky, but just having it a little bit off, not completely tight on. I'll put a couple of staples back in, but not all of them. That'll just let some of the moisture out, it not being tight. And that should dry nicely. It is a Saturday afternoon now, so I'm going to leave it till Monday, and it should be completely dry by Monday. Now I'm going to glue it on, but I'm not going to glue it on all the way. I'm going to place it on like this and then just glue the edges down. That will hold it in place. I'll put a few staples in as well, and then once I've done that I'll trim all the edges and fit it onto the wheel. Now I am leathering the wheel as well. That's going to be in black and white. Once I've uploaded the video for that one, because it's not actually done yet, but once I've uploaded the video, I'll put a link in the description to the wheel, and you can see this on the wheel with the wheel completely wrapped in two-tone leather. So I'll leave that there and I'm going to go home. So if you enjoyed that video, give it the old thumbs up, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.